What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Who is Ridge? Taylor is finally getting a man of her own thanks to Bold and Beautiful. Even though Taylor tells Ridge this week on the Bold and the Beautiful that she won't allow him to call off their wedding, how much more obviously can he state that he doesn't like you? Their relationship is once again in disarray. We say, hallelujah. Not only because the dressmaker is completely poisonous for Taylor, but also because the program is planning to find her a new partner. Who will be Taylor's future partner? A strategy is in place to send the well-known shrink off in new directions, possibly with someone else that the fans will like, co-head writer Michael Minnis says TV Insider. Naturally, this raises the question, who? Taylor would have her choice of guys in real life. She's intelligent, successful, beautiful, and everything. Her choices are rather more constrained on Bold and Beautiful, though. Considering that Nick is just another man who harbors feelings for Brooke, her longtime romantic adversary, she certainly wouldn't want to get connected with him again. Eric. No. In addition to being happily married, Taylor's ex-boyfriend spearheaded Ridge's attempt to break up with her. Who is left behind by that? I'm really happy you asked. Ridge's bail at the wedding is attributed by Taylor to Brooke and Eric. The Bold and the Beautiful indicates that while Luna Nozawa disregards Lee Finnegan's warning, Taylor Hayes will hold Brooke Logan and Eric Forrester responsible for Ridge Forrester's decision to call off their wedding. She will sense that Luna's tendency to cause trouble could result in more serious issues at Lee's residence. The likelihood that Will Spencer will be the cause of Luna's demise increases with her level of obsession with him. Lee will try to stop this with another lecture, but so far, it hasn't worked. It is therefore not shocking that Lee's subsequent warning will also be disregarded. Lee will persuade Luna to understand that Will is off-limits and will once again reject the idea that he is a realistic relationship prospect. Luna pursuing Bill Spencer's son and getting herself sent back to prison is the last thing Lee wants. Luna will continue to plot some fictitious favorable pregnancy findings, though, because she is determined to get Will. Because Luna was a masked mystery woman that night, Lee won't know that she's already gone too far with Will. On Monday's BNB episode, Thomas Forrester will become irate at Forrester Creations as he considers Brooke's grip on Ridge. Brooke is going to give it her all and point out that it was Taylor, not Ridge, who proposed. For Brooke, it will serve as evidence that Taylor is pushing the marriage idea. After complaining that Brooke had previously ruined Ridge and Taylor's happiness, Thomas will demand that it end right away. Thomas will defend his parents' love and their next new chapter together. Thomas won't have any updates on the awful news at the Forrester guesthouse, though, as Ridge recently acknowledged that he was unable to choose a wedding date or wed Taylor. Although Taylor will wonder why Ridge is applying the brakes, she might already be aware of the answer. This concerns Ridge's continued attraction to his Logan, particularly in the wake of Brooke's near-fatal incident in Italy. However, it will be simpler to accuse Brooke of controlling the circumstance, and Taylor won't mince words about Eric either. Eric will be accused by Taylor of manipulating Ridge's thoughts and forcing him to leave her. Even while it may not be the exact type of love she had in mind, Ridge will make it plain that he will always adore Taylor. Taylor will say she won't allow Ridge to do this because she will feel that this is her final opportunity at happiness. Taylor will appear quite pitiful as she makes a desperate appeal and tries to keep her engagement intact. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge and Brooke will eventually have a romantic reunion, so Taylor's spinout might not be able to postpone the inevitable for very long. What exactly is Ridge Forrester, and why does his shadow seem to control every aspect of Taylor Hayes' life even decades after they first connected on the Bold and the Beautiful, a soap opera that has defined obsession, treachery, and impossible triangles through him? Ridge is the dressmaker, the golden son of Eric and Stephanie, and the man whose entire identity has been shaped by the ongoing struggle between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes, while everything around him has adapted to his toxic need to keep both women hanging in orbit like moons around the planet Ridge. The plot finally shifts because Taylor has finally reached a breaking point where the question is not who Ridge is but whether she can become someone without him. She deserves a man who won't run away from the altar, who won't whisper undying love only to run back to the blonde the next week, who won't let Brooke's tears or Eric's manipulations dictate his own decisions, and who, if the writers dare to let Taylor breathe, might just be given a future free of the taste of Ridge's empty promises and odor of his cologne. Despite her being a beautiful, smart, accomplished, and world-renowned psychiatrist with all the qualities that would make her irresistible in real life, the BNB canvas limits her to a few options, and still, Co-head writer Michael Minnis hints that a plan is in the works to pair her with someone new, someone unexpected, and someone who might finally appreciate her for who she is instead of how she compares to Brooke. This, thank God, excites fans who have pleaded for years to free Taylor from the cycle of Ridge's indecision, because if Eric is married and has already interfered in destroying her future by forcing Ridge to leave, and if Nick Marone is no longer an option because of his persistent obsession with Brooke, then who is left for her? And what new chapter could she write if she dared to leave the triangle that has defined her entire adult life? Because the storyline finally reveals cracks in Ridge's devotion, with him telling Taylor after she begged him that he couldn't marry her, set a wedding date, or stop his longing for his Logan, and yet she clings, pathetically desperate, insisting that this is her last chance at happiness, insisting she won't let him do this, even though everyone else knows that her happiness lies in leaving them behind rather than in Ridge's arms. Even though Thomas becomes enraged with Forrester Creations for saying that Brooke destroyed his parents' love, the harsh truth is that Ridge made the decision, called off the wedding, and made it clear with every hesitancy that he does not want her the way a woman deserves to be wanted. Despite her outbursts, however, Taylor's story is still developing because, just beyond the tears and pleading, just beyond the shame and loss, there is hope that the writers are guiding her toward a new person who will love her without the tainted by the past, and in that possibility, salvation is found for both Taylor the character and the bold and the beautiful as a whole. Which, while ignoring the fact that Taylor could spark relationships with any number of other men if given the chance, has been repeating the same toxic triangle for far too long. As a result, the canvas starts to grow. Bill Spencer is becoming softer, but he is still one tragedy away from letting Dollar loose, so Lee Finnegan warns Luna that her obsession with him could spell disaster. Bill is back, Liam is vacillating between women as he always does, and there are even new characters in the works who could be Taylor's next chapter. This is because, despite Ridge's constant declarations of love and his promises to cherish her, he will never choose her, support her, or be hers the way she deserves, and if Taylor is able to let him go, the writers will finally be able to answer the age-old question, who is Ridge? Loses significance since the more crucial query will be, who is Taylor without Ridge? And that's the story that fans want to see, a story of a woman taking back her identity, refusing to be defined by the whims of one man, and walking into a love that is not a consolation prize but a triumph, even as the chaos of Luna's fake pregnancy plots, Will's temptation, Thomas's rage, and Brooke's eternal allure swirl around them. Because in the end, Ridge is exactly who he has always been, a man torn, a man weak, brilliant and magnetic, and infuriating in equal measure. However, Taylor doesn't have to suffer any longer, and if the new arc actually gives her a partner who is her alone, a man who values her strength and brilliance, then for the first time in decades, the hallelujahs of fans won't be ironic but rather real, because the story of Ridge, Brooke, and Taylor will finally give way to something new, something bold, and something, finally, beautiful. When it's obvious that Ridge Forrester doesn't want to marry Taylor Hayes, why does she continue to cling to him? Who is Ridge Forrester really? How much louder can Ridge say, "I'm not that into you," than Taylor, who tells Ridge this week on The Bold and the Beautiful that she won't let him call off their wedding? Their relationship is rapidly falling apart, and people are finally applauding. The reason for this is that the show is finally preparing Taylor for a brighter future, a fresh love story of her own. Who may Taylor's future companion be, then? Michael Minnis, co-head writer, hints at a daring new path for Taylor's character. Is it a formidable newcomer? A startling reminder of her past? Or someone completely different who will allow her to flourish outside of the Brooke-Ridge triangle at last? Thomas lashes out at Forrester Creations, Luna deepens her obsession with Will Spencer, and Ridge attributes his hesitancy to Brooke and Eric. But there's no denying that Taylor's love destiny is about to change significantly. Don't miss this analysis of Taylor's fervent request, Ridge's denial, and the thrilling future the authors have in store for her.